The gameplay footage in this video was captured on the AverMedia Live Gamer Portable 2. Capture 1080p 60 frames per second gameplay with no PC required. Click the link in the description to pick up one of your own.
Skip it up and that up.
So the Big N wants the Switch to do those Wii numbers, son. They want it to have those Wii sales, and they're not going to stop until that happens. Or at least they're really going to try to make that happen. So look, we got to give Nintendo credit. The Switch, I was about to say Wii U. That would have been a terrible Freudian slip. The Switch is off to a really good start. Worldwide, it has already sold more than 2.74 million units. As soon as it gets into stores, hours later, it's sold out. And as of now, again, as of now being the key word, it is Nintendo's fastest selling piece of hardware ever. We'll see if those sales numbers keep up, but right now the Switch is doing really well. But Nintendo has their expectations astronomically high for the Switch. Speaking to investors in a Q&A session, President Tatsumi Kimishima has admitted that he wants the system to do as well, at least as well, as the Wii did. This is what he had to say. The truth is, we want to raise the installed base of Nintendo Switch up to the same level as Wii. As we mentioned during our presentation, Nintendo Switch in America had the fastest start of any Nintendo hardware despite launching in March. In the video game business, it's important for consumers to feel that a sales momentum is going to grow, and we are setting a standard with Nintendo Switch to release a continuous string of major software titles from now on. And if our sales go according to plan this fiscal year, we will be able to see Nintendo Switch gaining the momentum in which it can approach relative parity with Wii afterwards. Plus, considering that Nintendo Switch is a home console video game system that you could take with you on the go so you can play anytime, anywhere with anyone, we think there will be households that feel as though one is not really enough. This is another point that drives us to match the scale of Wii's popularity with Nintendo Switch. Okay, so do I feel that what Kimishima said about the Switch, do I feel it's possible for Nintendo's newest console to match the Wii's numbers? Yeah, I do think it's possible. I'm not sure it's definitely going to happen. I think there's people out there already predicting that, the Switch is going to sell just as much of the Wii, if not more. I'm like, you can't make those predictions. Now, consoles always in the beginning, because you have the diehard fans that buy it first, always do generally really big numbers, okay? The Switch's numbers are somewhat exceptional, but most of the time, because the diehard fans are the first ones out there trying to buy it, and especially because there's a scarcity issue with the Switch right now, where the console, even when it goes back in stock, is already out of stock again in a few hours. You can't really judge it right now. I mean, you can, it's a good sign with how well the Switch is selling, but time will tell. When the Switch is plentiful, when you could go into a store and it's in every store and you could pick one up anytime you want to, and there isn't a scarcity issue, that's when we'll see, that'll be the moment of truth, I should say, as to how Switch is selling. I mean, it's a good sign how it's doing right now. I hope it keeps up for Nintendo. It's obviously a good sign too. It's Nintendo's best console launch ever in terms of how much hardware they sold, but we need to see the momentum keep up. I do also agree with Kimishima, and I could see where he's coming from, that the Switch will be a multi-console system in people's homes, meaning that people will have more than one Switch, because he has a point. Someone may want to play it on the TV. You may have your kid that wants to play a different game, in his bedroom. And yeah, I could see people wanting to have one Switch on the TV while someone's playing it in their room, which is great for Nintendo. So instead of people just buying one console per home, you may have people buying two, or maybe somewhat unrealistic, 3 consoles per home, depending on how many kids they have. And that for Nintendo is great, because that'll triple the install base of the Switch, just because people want to have more than one Switch in their home so everyone gets to play it. And there's 2 other aspects that can make the Switch very successful and possibly sell as much as the Wii, if not more. One is Nintendo, you have to make sure the system has the games. Whether the games are coming from you, first-party titles, or third-party titles, there needs to be a healthy software library for the Switch. If that is there, that will entice people to play the system and want to buy a Nintendo Switch. The second reason is, and I can't stress how important this is until I actually experienced it myself, is let consumers know that the best way to buy third-party games that are multi-platform and also on the Switch is to buy them on the Switch. A perfect example I keep on bringing up, and I have in other videos, is Mr. Shifty. That is an awesome indie third-party title for the Switch, but it's also for the PC. Okay, you can get it for other platforms too. All right, and I have it for the PC. I have it for the PC and I have it for the Switch. And it's nice. Believe me, it's nice on the PC. It's butter smooth, runs 60 frames per second, the whole nine. But it's still really good on the Switch. As a matter of fact, I prefer the Switch version. You know why? Because I could play it on my big screen TV. But unlike any other hardware platform out there, and this is huge for the Switch and Nintendo, you need to make sure that you drill this point home with the consumers in commercials. You could also take that console out of its dock and play Mr. Shifty or any other big indie game on the go. And indie games like Mr. Shifty and Shovel Knight aren't going to look any worse generally. I mean, Mr. Shifty runs smoother and looks a little prettier on the PC. That's an exception when it comes to indie titles, but generally indie titles aren't as graphically demanding. So you're going to be able to have the same experience, like with Shovel Knight, for example, on your Switch that you would in your PC, but you could also take that Switch version of Shovel Knight on the go, and that's a big selling point. So instead of buying the game for PC, PS4, Xbox One, tell people, hey, buy it for the Switch. It's not going to be any different, especially the indie titles, and you could take it with you anywhere, unlike the other hardware platforms out there. That is a huge selling point, Nintendo, and if you drill that point home to the consumer and really let them know how much of an advantage that is, that'll help you sell a ton more Switches and maybe even hit the Wii sales numbers. It's the versatility of the Switch that's going to make it successful. And Nintendo, you have to let people know how versatile it is and how convenient it is to just take it from the dock, play it in portable mode, and put it back in the dock. You've done a very good job of it, but you have to continue doing a good job to let people know how versatile and how unique your system actually is. This is Richard Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.